Hey everybody, Tom here with Hidden Beats, and today we're talking with Katie from the band Nice Horse. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a nice day here, kind of a little chilly, but looking good outside. So it's always a good day like that.
Yeah, exactly. The sun can really change the mood.
Mm. So we're here to talk about you, about the band, about your music. But for those who are new, can you give us a little bit of an intro about yourself?
Yes, my name is Katie, and I play the banjo and the acoustic guitar, and I sing in a band called Nice Horse.
Nice. So I got to see you guys at was the photographer taking pictures.
Yes, thank you so much. Those photos were awesome.
It was nice to actually get you guys live.
Awesome. Yeah, that was such a fun one. I remember it was a bit of a whirlwind because we had played the night before like some small, like not some small town, a small town in Saskatchewan, and then had to drive through the night to get to the closest airport, to get on a flight, to
Mm.
get to Boots and Hearts, to land in Toronto, drive there and get out of the van and play.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like a pretty busy summer for you guys. Do you have any fun spots you can remember that were the ones that stood out the most?
I mean, that Boots and Hearts, we had been dying to go back to that one since we played it. I think that was like 5 years ago or something. That festival is magical. Like to me, that festival is like out of a movie. The way they put it together, the way they have the grounds set up. And so it's always one that I really romanticize in my head. And it was just as great coming back as it was the first time we played it. I love playing a lot of the small town festivals. I really love when the whole town shows up, whether they know you or not, they want to go and have a good time. I feel what's so fortunate to me about being a band in Canada is you get to see places that not everybody gets to see.
Hmm.
Like all these small towns that put on these festivals that you maybe wouldn't otherwise go unless it was in your backyard or within a driving distance. And the fact that we get to fly all over and go to these places and see these small towns. We played a town in Quebec, in Kippawa, and that also was amazing. I'd never been there before. We as a band had not played in Quebec, and the town was so cute. And I remember it was pouring rain, but that didn't stop anybody from showing up. They wanted to have a good time. So yeah, it's all good. It's just each show is a little different and has its own little magical twist, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice because you get to experience just all the different fans and kind of just see how everyone's taking in your music, really.
Yeah, exactly. And again, some people they don't know, they just came because there's a festival, and other people they'd seen us play before. And so we get a really good mix of people saying, "Oh, I actually saw you play in such and such a place," and other people being like, "I didn't know, I just came for the festival and turned out you guys were playing." And so it's we get all kinds, and it's very rewarding every which way it works out.
Is there a fan moment that kind of stands above the rest? Maybe your songs meant a certain to them, or
Hmm, it's possible, but I can't think of one right now.
there. Yeah, I know that's a put you on the spot question just to come up with something.
Yeah, like I'm like there must have been, but at the top of my head, I can't think of one.
Do you have any fun for being on the road of weird breakdowns, anything like that?
Yeah, we survived a tornado, and I wish I was
Okay.
kidding when I said that, but we had this crazy 3 days in July that we were playing three shows in 36 hours. It was like we got
Mm.
called in last minute to play a show at the Pinoca Stampede because the headliner, due to some flights and some whole bunch of things just kind of going wrong, the headliner wasn't able to make it. And we got called asking if we could do it. And we also weren't in the area, but in time to play. And so we showed up, they pushed the sound check as long as possible. We got in for sound check, and then we were able to play the show, but there was a storm brewing all kind of around us as we were playing, and they didn't know. I think it was just sort of an error, but there was actually, we could hear people talking in our in-ears saying, okay, 16 kilometers to evacuation, 14 kilometers evacuation. And I just keep like looking, playing another song, being like, we got evacuated yet? We got evacuated yet? And we never got evacuated. The storm stayed just far enough away that we were able to play the show. Then we had to drive through the night to get back to the Calgary area because we were playing a show the following afternoon, playing that show, which is barely enough time to get off stage and drive up to Edmonton and play that night. And so everything was very tightly timed. And we got off stage in Airdrie at 1 o'clock, and we had to be in Edmonton at 5 o'clock. And if anybody knows, that's a 3 hour drive. So there was very little buffer to get there. But we're like, we can do this. So we hit the road, and we're about 20 minutes going north outside of Airdrie, which is a small town outside of Calgary. And I get an alert on my phone that says there's a tornado in the area and you should seek immediate shelter. And I'm like, hey, did anybody else get this emergency alert on their phone? And nobody had. For some reason, I was the only one. And they're like, no. And so we were in two different vehicles. We had Krista, our drummer, was in a vehicle with our sound tech in a couple kilometers behind us. And then it was me and Brandy, the bass player, and Tara, guitar player, in another vehicle. And so we're looking around, we're looking at the skies, and it's Alberta, so you can see everything. And we're like, oh, that kind of looks like a tornado. And we're watching it. And then they get the alerts on their phone, and we're looking and we're like, oh my God, that's a tornado. And we see it touch down. And we're like, oh my God, okay, well, what do we do? Like, the gig is that way. I know that's where the tornado is, but so is the gig. And also, we don't know which way the tornado is going to go. You're like, it could go east, it could go west, it could north. We don't know what's going to happen. So we're like, I guess we just got to keep driving. But unfortunately for us, it came straight for us. And we were driving. I've never been so scared. Honestly, like now I can laugh about it. But I was like texting my mom. I was like, hey mom, in a tornado, don't know if we're gonna make it or not. Like it was just coming for us. And Brandy was driving as fast as she possibly could. Tara was emergency planning in the front. Like she was like grabbing clothes. She was like jumping in the backseat, grabbing clothes for us to wear because we're just in shorts and tank tops. And she's thinking like if we need to hit the ditch or if the windshield cracks, like we need to be as covered up as possible. I'm just like filming some things, calling our manager, calling Krista every 5 minutes behind us, being like, are you okay? Are you okay? And it got like to the point where like the wind was like, there was like a funnel happening on the highway. And I was like, oh my God. And then the hail started coming down. So now we're trying to assess. We're like, okay, tornado is right beside us. Hail is coming down. We don't want it to break through the windshield, but we need to get away from this tornado. So, and then still checking me like, Krista, you okay? Krista, you okay? Keep driving. And then we get to this overpass and everybody ahead of us pulls over, but they don't pull over. They just stop. So the highway is completely blocked off. And there's this tornado beside us. And we're like, oh my God, what are we going to do? And so it was like out of a scene out of Twister. Like Tara just jumps out of the vehicle, bangs on the car ahead of us. It was like, you got to get out of the way. And so that car moved and we just kept driving and we survived.
Okay, what about now?
Yes, gotcha. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just have to turn up my volume here.
Okay, perfect.
My one of my monitors died on me too. All while this was happening.
Oh no.
I'm
We'll
guessing I
keep
can
on
edit this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'll do this. Okay, I mean, I think we're we're okay right now. Well, yeah, at least I edit this. Let me make a note of the time frame on this too.
Yeah, there's like a little bit, sometimes it's cutting in and out, but it was doing that before, and I just thought that was the internet.
Yeah, the headphones I have right now, this is crappy.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can do. I might have to
Yeah.
order something new today.
Oh, good.
Oh, well, left off with your tornado story. And the main reason we're here is to talk about your music. And
Yes.
you have a new single that I believe just came out a couple days ago now.
Yes, it came out on the 27th, a
Yeah.
song called Things I Wish I Didn't Know. Yeah, and I'm so excited to have that one out there. I know a few people have heard it and they're like, oh, it's a little different for Nice Horse. Which to me I'm excited about. Like it's fun to grow and evolve and try new things as a band. So I'm very excited for people to hear it.
Now, what's the story behind the actual track itself?
That was a song that Brandy and I wrote with Danik Dupel and Jimmy Thau. And you know what I remember most about that songwriting session was just it was during the pandemic and we had kind of done as much Zoom writing as we possibly could. And we were like, we need to get back down to Nashville. And so that's the thing that I honestly that I remember the most about it, is just feeling so strange going to a place that I'd been a million times because they're like, well, borders still closed, like travel if you must. And we were like, well, we must, we got to get back down there. And so we were only going to songwriting sessions. Like it was just like, go to the songwriting session, go back to the house, go to the songwriting session, go back to the house, not do anything else. And it was just like such a strange feeling, you know, of doing that. But that being said, I was so happy with the songs that we got out of that time there. And this was one of them. And I remember when I was getting on the plane to leave Nashville and I was listening to all the songs that we had written, and I remember the plane taking off and the wheels leaving right as that chorus hit. And I don't know if it was one of those moments that it felt very cinematic because I was listening to the song and the plane took off and I was just like, I think we've got something here. Like it just gave me chills that I was in a way that I was like, I can't wait for people to hear this one. Like it just feels special. So
Hmm. So
yeah.
how do you think your music has evolved as a band over the years?
I think just the more you play together, and the more experiences you have together, life experiences, band experiences, I think all of that comes into play. Um, yeah, like and just as times change, like we still love like at the end of the day, we're still like a feel we love to have a good time. That's our live show is like it's that party time. Let's get down with Nice Horse. But there's still a lot of depth to us. We're all, we've all lived through a lot of things and so conveying that in our music is important too. So that to me I think all kind of plays into how a band will grow and evolve and change and how the song and it'll all come out in the music.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think it takes to stand out in today's market? We're oversaturated with 10 million musicians. What do you think it takes to be a step above?
That's a good question. Because I can't say to you what makes some people stand out to me either. There are just some artists who grab my attention, whether it's maybe right place, right time. Like they might release a song that's exactly what I'm going through and it'll make me want to listen to it. Um, and then I think, I mean, for us, we are a unique configuration, being that we are all women. We all play our own instruments in our own band. There's nobody but us. And that in country music is still a extreme rarity.
Mhm.
I mean, that happened at Boots and Hearts. Like it happens at every festival. Like we are the only all female self-contained country band that's like currently out there doing what we're doing. And so that tends to set us apart. But also I think for me, what I think sets us apart too and helps us sort of rise above is the women in this band, like that I'm in a band with, are absolutely monster musicians who are so incredible. Tara can shred that guitar. Like she plays the guitar and everybody stops and stares, like she has got a thing regardless of gender. And I remember someone saying that to us last year, that they were like, we came to watch you. They were another band. They were in a band, playing with another act, with a Nashville act, and they were like, we came to watch you because we wanted to check out what this all female band was about. And they were like, but they said, and it was one of the greatest compliments to me I'd ever gotten, is he said we thought you were the best band we'd ever seen, and it didn't matter what gender.
Mhm.
Like, and to me, that's the compliment there, is it's like, if you want to come and watch the potential spectacle of watching women do the same thing men are doing, then that's fine. But the fact that people then can walk away and be like, that was great, and it doesn't matter that you were all women, that to me is like, the ultimate compliment. But also it's like, I am also not offended by people wanting to come and watch the all-female band, because it inspires other women to do it too. And especially when little girls come up to us and they and they're like, I want to do that too, I want to do that too. Like to me it's all positive. Like whatever takeaway you get from it, it's all good. And I think it is though part of what sets us apart from everybody else,
And you
if
guys
that
were
makes sense.
show stealers. Like you guys did such a good job. The crowd was so into it when I saw you. So
Well,
it
thank
makes
you.
sense that people are drawn to that, whether you're an all girl band or not, because the music I think spoke louder than the fact that you guys were an all girl group.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that. I mean, that is the ultimate goal. But again, it's like everybody needs a little something to set them apart. That isn't why we started this band. Like we didn't set out. We're all just friends. And then it was like, oh, it turns out we're gonna be the only ones doing this, but that wasn't the intention. But yeah, the idea is to write really great songs, be really great musicians, and to get recognized for that, like regardless of what gender we fit into.
Well, you're doing a good job, that's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, I'm curious, who are you listening to these days that more people should get into?
Um, I mean, I'm a huge Donovan Woods fan, but I think a lot of people already are listening to him. But I listened to him. He was one of those people who just put out a song recently, and I was like, literally every day, I was like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? Like, I couldn't wait to hear it. He's one of those artists. I think I just checked out the new James Barker Band EP, and I think it's absolutely amazing. But again, everybody already knows those guys are great, but I'm loving that. I don't know. I feel like I don't know that there's anybody top secret that I'm like nobody knows. I've also love Elle King. Like we got to see her over the summer play, and I think she's amazing. Um, yeah, I mean, I we got to watch Ali Walker too right before us play, and I thought
Mhm.
she was really fantastic and is doing really cool things. Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff. Haley Benedict is really amazing. We absolutely love her and what she's doing. Yeah, I think there's a lot of great music out there.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, actually, I think I interviewed Haley Benedict a couple weeks ago too, and just talking to her and the excitement she has for what she's doing is fun.
Oh, she does. Yeah, she is. She's awesome, and she's really crushing it, I think.
Hmm. Do you have a guilty pleasure song that's on your playlist that people might not expect you're listening to?
What do I? Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I really love like 90s, early 2000s hip hop. Like I can sing along to like almost every Ludacris song. I love Ludacris. I love Snoop Dogg. And those are things I think kind of shock people, but I love it.
No, I'm actually a huge fan of that also. Like those, I've actually got to shoot them live in concert also, and those are
Really?
some of my favorite things. A Ludacris set was outstanding this past year in Ottawa.
Oh, I would give anything. He played the Cowboys tent at Calgary Stampede last year, and I wasn't able to make it because not a problem, but we were singing with Corb Lund at a different place, and so we weren't able to go. But I was like, Ludacris is here. I would love to go see Luda.
Yeah,
So good.
he has one of I got one of my favorite pictures. Like I plan on printing and putting on the wall soon enough because it was just that type of show for me.
Oh my gosh, you have to like if I'm sure you've posted it on Instagram, send it to me. I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'll definitely send it
He's
over.
so cool, man. He's so cool.
And same with Snoop Dogg. So I'm partnered with a booking agent in that based out of Ottawa, and we actually booked him in Toronto years ago. So I was actually right in front with the whole Toronto show, and like I don't know, those watching those guys live is a whole different thing.
Oh, I've not seen either one of them live, and I absolutely would love to.
Well, if you get a chance, that's for sure do that.
Yeah, I will.
Now, I got to talk to Brandy, I think last year around when you guys were going to Cavendish.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I asked her a couple questions. I think it'd be a unique one to ask you some of them also. And the
Okay.
first one I have is probably the most in-depth one I always look at is what's something you think should be asked more in an interview that's not asked enough?
Oh man, that's a good question.
It's one of my favorites because it's kind of it helps me, it makes you think. It's a
Yeah,
fun one.
I don't know. You've stumped me. Like, I guess also I haven't done, we're only just getting back at it, so I haven't been doing interview after interview. Like, I'm not at that like stage yet. So I'm like, I don't know, like I'm enjoying this. I liked you asking me like guilty pleasures and what sort of what does it take to set people apart? Although, I mean, gosh, do any of us really know? But I don't know. I feel like I have to get back to you on that one.
Well, you could look at it too as if you're watching another interview, like if you're checking something out, what would you like to hear about that person?
Yeah. I know. This is a very good question, but I don't have an answer for it at the moment.
Okay, well we can touch base on it at the end.
Yeah.
Now
Hmm.
this is a fun one, and I'm curious of how you're gonna take this one. In the movie of Nice Horse, like the biopic, who plays each of the band members?
Oh, okay. I've got this.
Okay.
You've thought about this before. So Anne Hathaway for Brandy.
Okay.
Um, oh man, now I'm trying to remember who Tara's was because I can picture her. Tara needs like a Tara to me looks like a she's like a vintage porcelain doll, you know? So I'm trying to I can picture the actress in my head, but I cannot think of her name. But that like very like do you know what I mean? That what is it?
Kind of just like well, like I picked Toretto
Like
in
almost like a Christina Ricci kind of, you know? Like that
okay, I
just
can see
looks
that kind of yeah.
so so porcelain. And then mine would probably be Reese Witherspoon. Um, and then who did we have for Krista? We have had this discussion before. And Krista, whose was it? I don't remember who Krista's was. So I'll have to get back to you on that. But we've had this discussion in the van.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, if you had to pick only one movie to watch for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Mm. Honestly, probably Elf. I find that movie, I don't know why I love it so much, but I find Will Ferrell so endearing in that movie that I could probably watch it forever.
I can
He
see
is
that. Will
so funny
Ferrell's
to me.
great. Yeah,
He
he's a
is
great,
so
great
good.
actor.
I'm such a nerd.
All right, a couple more questions that I have, and these ones are a bit more personal to you. So,
Okay.
what do you hope people take away from your music with Nice Horse?
What do I hope people take away? I hope, it's a good question. I hope it makes people think a little bit, like, um, because I think sometimes subtly we have a lot to say.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't want that to be the only thing. Because obviously I also want it to make people feel good. But yeah, I want people to kind of I I know that we are one of the only bands doing what we're doing, and I hope that the next time you and I talk, that's not the case. You know what I mean? I hope there are more women out there doing music and pushing boundaries and doing things that it's funny that people seem to think that we're doing that. I actually don't even like someone's like, I think we're just being ourselves, and if that's pushing boundaries, okay. But I think that people should be pushing more boundaries. And so if people take that away, that they're like, oh, that's they had something to say and they stuck by it and they said it over and over again, um, I would be good with that.
Okay, that's a good one. I like that. Motivates you to keep doing music? Is there something, a driving force that you're looking to accomplish?
I mean, to be the biggest band in the world.
I mean, yeah, that's
Keeps
definitely
me going.
realistic.
Yeah, I just love it. Every time, sometimes, obviously, like any job, you can get tired. Um, and you can get worn down and things can kind of get at you, but like at the end of the day, the music is the only thing I've ever done and it's something that I love and I just go back to it all the time. Like for a while, I even called it my bad boyfriend. Like I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And then just says one nice thing and I'm right back with him.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I love it. And I love this band. Like I love this band more than probably anything else I've ever done musically. And I want to see it succeed. And I think we've already had a lot of success, but to me, this is only like a little bit of what I think that this band can and should accomplish. And like I want to see the movie, like
Mhm.
I want to see the story and how it ends. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see that movie. I think that'd be a great one.
Me too. It's been very interesting.
And then I have to get a little casting, on set role just as a photographer for that one show. Just I'll be the guy there.
Absolutely.
Hmm. And last but not least, probably the most important question: are you happy?
Yes. Yes. I am so happy to have new music out. I am, yeah, I'm really excited for what next year is going to bring.
And what can people expect coming up? You have the new release now, and what's next?
We will be releasing an album next year, that is for sure.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. We have finished a whole bunch of songs and how that looks is to be determined. But yeah, we spent a lot of time in the studio this year and we had spent the last several years writing, writing, writing. And I feel like we've got some of the best material we've ever written and recorded, and I can't wait for people to hear it.
That's all I have written down. Is there any kind of final tidbits or words of wisdom you'd like to leave for everyone?
No, no words of wisdom. I'm all out.
That's acceptable. We can deal with that.
Awesome.
All right, where can people find you guys?
Everywhere is at Nice Horse Music. So Nice Horse Music across the board for all socials, and then nicehorsemusic.com for our website.
All right, we'll make sure to link some of those in the description. And I'm looking forward to the next time that I get to chat with you guys and catch up. I mean, we're old friends at this point with everything that we've been through. So
Yeah, exactly.
it was great getting to learn a little bit more about what makes you tick.
Yeah, Elf, the movie Elf.
Yeah,
Elf and Ludacris
there we
and
go.
tornadoes.
And hopefully next time I won't have technical difficulties, and I'll see if this monitor actually still works when I'm done.
Yeah, that's no fun when your stuff breaks down. I hope it's not too expensive to fix.
I mean, the monitor hopefully isn't too bad, but we'll see about the mic setup. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
Anyways, well, you enjoy the rest of your day, and
I will.
we'll connect again for sure.
Okay, sounds good, Tom. Take care.
All right.